obviously I'm going for monkeyfish.
Do I have a choice?
No. I stole it.
Okay. Old pendulous breast herself.
Chase you through a cave. I know you do outside.
And we're going to talk about how wrong you are after this.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. I'm Jeni.
And I'm Tressa.
Hey, Tressa. Hey, what's going
Hi.
on over there with you?
Oh,
today?
boy. Have we got some news in TikTok Corner? Are
Okay,
you
don't
ready
let
for
news
this?
and-
Yeah. Next week, there's going to be a theme song for sure. Listen,
nope.
I saw this TikTok, and I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. That's kind of neat. I don't remember hearing about this. I'll look it up and I'll look at some more TikTok because I don't like to read. And then I just saw more and more and more. And then I was like, you know what? I should probably read. So I'm going to do something for you right now. I'm going to read a condensed article about what I'm going to tell you about. Are you ready?
All right, listen, I'm just impressed you read the whole article.
I didn't say that. I said I'm going to read the condensed article right now. Okay.
Let's go.
Jeni, scientists have released the first X-ray images of a mysterious sphere-shaped objects recovered in Buga. I thought it was Boga, Colombia, which locals claim is of alien origin. The object was spotted zigzagging through the sky in March, defying the movement of conventional aircraft, and was recovered shortly afterwards. It weighs, listen, we're not going to do a whole P60 news thing there. Just let me read it. Okay, shut up. It weighs about 4.5 pounds and reportedly felt as cold as a refrigerator when touched. They didn't say if it was the outside or the inside. I'm going to show a little video too.
I would assume the inside.
Radiologist Dr. Jose Luis Velasquez examined the sphere, noting it has 3 layers of metal-like material and 18 microspheres surrounding a central structure they refer to as a chip. No welds or joints were found, suggesting an artificial origin, and the internal structure contains high-density elements. The sphere displays symbols similar to runes, Ogham, and Mesopotamian scripts, which AI helped interpret as a message. And this is the message. The origin of birth through union and energy in the cycle of transformation, meeting point of unity, expansion, and consciousness. I don't know what that means. The object was recovered by a group led by David Velez El Potro, who shared with ufologist our buddy Jaime Musan that the sphere's discovery caused the finder Jose to feel ill afterward. Velez also described that when water was poured on it, the sphere smoked and the water vaporized, indicating an internal heat source, but it was still cool to the touch. Velez refused government requests to hand over the sphere because he does not trust them, with good reason. X-ray analysis revealed that the outermost layer is highly dense, potentially titanium or steel, similar to human bone. While the internal layers are less dense or porous, the X-rays also uncovered 18 small dots arranged in a precise pattern within the core. Okay, additionally, a central band within the sphere contains more small spheres, which may have been inserted before the object was sealed, but no visible assembly techniques were evident from the X-ray images, raising questions about how it was even manufactured. Jeni!
You know, clearly it was just an alien game of Foursquare that got out of hand. What?
You are no fun. You see, I'm so excited about this, and you're like, maybe it's a stupid red bouncy ball.
Clearly it's silver. Okay, now hang on, because you said density similar to human bone, but titanium or
Yeah.
right,
Like it has like the feel of titanium or steel, but it has the density of human bone. I don't know if that means it's porous like human. It's just cool.
Okay, that is very cool. That video of the sphere was very, very cool.
Oh, and I got pictures too. Here's a close-up.
Oh, yes, please.
Because you see, the thing is, this thing was flying around in March, and everyone was getting all these photos of this orb like bouncing around the skies in March, and then it got hit by electricity or something. I don't really understand what happened. But it came down, and the guy that found it was a guy that saw it come down. He's like, look what I found. And he brought it to some scientists. It's like, hey, figure this out for me. Am I going to be rich or whatever? I don't know what he said. But remember, like, back when all the drones were going nuts and, like, in Jersey and stuff in the East Coast, and everyone's like, they're following. There were spheres in other places, and I thought that's what they were talking about. I didn't know the drones were actual, like, military drones. I thought the drones were these orbs, because these orbs have been seen other places, and I got really excited. And then I found out they were just military drones. I was like, meh.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
This is very exciting, and I cannot wait to hear more details, as I'm sure they will emerge on our #1 news source, TikTok.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Paranormal 60 News on Wednesday nights on the Paranormal 60 News Network.
All right, listen. You know what? I would like to bring in another person on this to help me understand.
Are you trying to shut me up?
Something got hit by electricity.
I think it was like next to power lines or something. I don't remember.
Right, sure. The electricity.
Why do you have to listen? Ms. Bigfoot fanatic has to poo-poo everything I bring on this show. You're like, electricity, like that exists.
I think
I'm so sure it got touched by nothing's ever been electrified.
I'm sure that it exists. I'm sure it's real. I'm just saying the video looks a bit suspect. Listen to me.
I'm sorry. How does this look suspect? Because it's on a crappy cell phone camera. That's how everything.
Listen,
you mean like all those super clear and super obvious Bigfoot videos that you've been showing us? Those are better than this? Right. Okay, Jeni.
Listen, we're gonna bring our guest out. And maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more. Perhaps we will just go with the rest of
Perhaps we'll forget this never happened.
Forget it never happened. Yeah.
You know what I meant.
All right, our guest tonight is Mike Familiant. Nope. I gotta do it right away. I was really close. He's gonna say it as soon as he gets back on. Listen, but he's an EMT and a firefighter, which #1, that's rad. He's also a graphic designer and a full-time Bigfoot researcher. Yeah, I know. From New Jersey. He investigates and researches all kinds of sightings of Bigfoot. He's been doing it for quite a little while now. And he first started like back in 2011. So it has been a number of years that this gent has been out there wandering around. He launched his own show, In the Shadow of Big Red Eye, which is now kind of in its 9th season, I think. He also created Squatchables, which is a beginner-friendly Bigfooting docuseries. He aims to present authentic, unedited footage of real expeditions and inspire people to explore nature, which I'm a big fan of. So help me welcome Mike.
Hey.
I knew. Hello. All right, listen. I mess up everybody's last name.
That was pretty. That was like a 9 out of 10. So not bad.
Yes. Yeah. No, my record stands anywhere from 7 to 10.
Yeah. That was not bad. It's better than a family that I normally get. So that's good.
I get too into my head about it. Well, Mike, do you happen to want to weigh in on the
lay in? That makes it sound like he's going to yell at me about
weigh in. No, weigh in.
No, Tressa, though, the reading of that article was, I mean, on point.
Perfection, right? I'm really good at it.
I enjoyed that very much so.
Well, she should be good at it. She's on another show on Wednesdays where she reads articles. So,
there you go. Well, you got the.
I'm usually drunk though, so that was really flying by the seat of my pants.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the podcast tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for
Of
coming
course.
on.
Thank you for coming. So let's start off with your Florida expedition that you were out about. Where in Florida were you that you had this experience?
So my first ever Bigfoot experience was in North Florida in Tressa State Park, which is about 30 miles from Georgia, about 60 miles from the Gulf of Mexico in the Panhandle.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was pretty cool. It's by Bristol, Florida, if anybody's familiar with that. It's a small little town.
What happened?
Yeah, so we were on a BFRO expedition and nothing happened. What was the coolest thing? We were camping. It was 3 nights, 4 days of hiking through Florida's wilderness and speaking to researchers and meeting witnesses, like all this really cool stuff. But we were trying to find Bigfoot, you know what I mean? So nothing happened the entire trip until the last night, right? I was with a buddy. His name is Jeni. And we were, excuse me, we were sitting by a campfire, and all of a sudden we heard a knock from one side of camp, and I immediately thought like it was the people that put on the expedition, the BFRO people, like hoaxing us and like pretending that Bigfoot's there, whatever. Didn't think twice about it. About 2 minutes later, there was a knock from the complete opposite side. I was like, man, these guys got to be pretty good, So anyways, about 15 minutes later, it comes crashing down through the forest. You hear it come crashing through the trees, like plunk. And
I love those sound effects, by the way.
You're welcome. I've perfected them. It's a fist-sized rock.
Oh.
And it was at this point in my life where I said, nope, this is how horror movies start. I am getting out of here, And my buddy Jimmy, he was like, well, if you want to sleep in the car, you're more than welcome. And by the time he had said that, I had my sleeping bag and I was just beelining it right to the car, So he ends up coming up to the car and he's like, Mike, this is a Bigfoot research expedition. That's the whole reason why we're here, and now you're running to hide in the car, this is, come on. So I was like, yeah, I suppose you're right. So went back by the campfire. Over the course of the next 15 minutes, 4 more of these fist-sized rocks come crashing down, land 5 to 10 feet away from us, right?
Yeah.
I don't
so
care
my
for
buddy
that.
Jimmy comes up to me and he's like, Mike, I got an idea. I'm gonna throw a rock back at it.
No.
And I said, Jimmy, man, I don't think that's a great idea, So he takes the rock and he chucks it back in that direction. And I knew it wasn't like a person because at that exact moment, a 15-pound laptop-sized boulder just came crashing down, landed 5 feet away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Yeah. Listen, it's all fun and games until your head gets crushed in by a boulder. Like, no.
Well, the takeaway from this expedition was Jimmy and I we weren't really super into Bigfoot before this expedition. This was more like gonna be like a people watching expedition for us. Sure. And then when we got there, we're like, wow, these people are really into it. Let's try to find Bigfoot. And we didn't think anything much about Bigfoot, like I said, up until this point. And then that last night of that expedition, those 15 minutes of rocks, changed the course of my life forever.
Seriously, though.
Really, in all reality, I should be an EMT sitting on the corner in the city of Tampa somewhere right now. But I've traveled the country full time talking about Bigfoot.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
That's amazing. Have you gone back to the same place to investigate after learning a little bit more?
Yes. I've returned there a couple times after. Unfortunately, the terrain in the park has changed very drastically because there's been a couple hurricanes, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, I've been back and we filmed there. Very cool. I actually met a park volunteer who had a sighting on the same kind of area that we had our encounter, which is really cool. So putting 2 and 2 together, and we were able to film that, which is awesome.
Nice.
I have a question about finding these volunteers or these rangers that have had sightings or experiences, because every single national park that I've gone to, I have found a ranger and I had said, "Hey, have you guys seen anything weird?" And no one's ever seen anything weird, but I feel like they're just not telling me.
Mhm.
Is there a certain approach that you use?
Code word, perhaps.
Yeah,
Like a special handshake, like, guys, I'm in the biz.
right. I wish there was. That would be really cool. Like Bigfoot seer, the Bigfoot sighting club.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like something like, I don't know, like some kind of gang sign. That would be pretty cool. Um,
We're gonna have to
no,
work on that.
what's funny is like you're absolutely correct. Like I'll go up to a state park ranger or a state park police officer or whatever have you, anybody in sort of official capacity that works for the state or the government, and I'll ask them, hey, have you guys ever, what do you guys think about Bigfoot, or has anybody ever reported seeing a Bigfoot? And they all say the same, almost to the quote, to the T, the same exact thing. They say, haha, yeah, Bigfoot doesn't exist. And that's it. But they all say the same exact thing. It makes it seem like they're trained to say that or something.
Yeah, it's in their manual.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to get a hold of that manual.
Right.
Seriously,
That
though.
would be pretty cool.
All right,
But
guys.
no, I
Great.
did find I've noticed that park volunteers aren't held to the same standard.
Mhm.
They don't have the manual, so they're more apt to talk, which is cool.
All right, write it down.
Oh,
So
nice.
find volunteers. Okay, all right. Um, okay, so your series, Shadow of Big Red Eye, right?
Yes.
9th season, is that correct?
Somehow, some way, yes.
Okay. Well, good. Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you.
How did that all start? How did that?
Yeah, so I was watching all these back in 2016. I was watching all these shows on TV, and like Finding Bigfoot, and like I don't know, there was other Bigfoot related shows on TV,
Mhm.
and I was like, man, some of these shows aren't really. And I was into Bigfooting at this point. I was like really super into it, and I was like, man, these shows aren't like accurately portraying the way Bigfooting is done. Like, they're just showing, like, the parts, and they're like, the cool parts, and they're playing music over evidence and stuff. I always loved that part about it, and it's like, why, like, I don't know. So I was like, "I'm gonna make a YouTube show that's just about true Bigfoot research. It's gonna show what Bigfooting is really truly about. It's not gonna have the cool edits and the dramatization and everything." So I started in the Shadow of Big Red Eye in 2016, and like we were just talking, it's in its 9th season now. We have almost 5,000 YouTube subscribers, which is cool. Getting there.
That's fantastic. So the name of it, I was looking around your website a little bit. It comes from an experience from like 1972, right?
Yeah, yep. 1972, a state park ranger up in High Point State Park, which is in northwestern New Jersey, was doing his night patrol, and I guess he was walking around one of the state park roads or whatever, or driving around, and he went on record, or he saw 2 pairs of reflecting red eyes in the woods, and he went on record and he wrote it down in his report. Which is kind of unheard of at the time. But anyways, somehow, some way, the local newspaper got a hold of it, and the next morning, front page on the paper was Big Red Eye, Sussex County's Bigfoot. So that's our kind of claim to fame for our Bigfoot.
Oh, that's fantastic. Also, apparently, he had not read the handbook.
Yeah.
So I have a couple more questions about that after we.
This message. Thank you, Jeni.
For those of you naysayers, I want you to know how much I appreciate how many of you grabbed a hold of my small package after last week's show. It is out and available. You can get both of my books, The Other Side, A Guide to the Paranormal and Ghost Hunting, and my brand new book, Theater of the Mind, Tales from the Darkness. Both books are out. One, of course, kind of a how-to ghost hunt book, and the other story book of strange supernatural occurrences all around the world. You can get your hand on my small package by just ordering it right off of my website. You can go right to paranormal60.com, scroll down on the front page there, or go to the shop and scroll down and you'll see our book bundle. And I was so humbled by the fact of how many men put their hands on my small package at the end of last week's show and bought it. It was great. It made me feel loved and wanted. I'm not going to lie.
I miss him. It's been so long since we've seen him. Oh.
I just saw him a couple of weeks ago at a conference. He's a great guy.
We're gonna miss him at OSR. I'm so sad we're missing ParasiteCon.
Yeah,
So sad.
It's so sad. Anyway, okay. So the glowing red eyes thing. Have you done any digging into that idea that that's what they have, or have you witnessed that yourself? Words.
Yourself. Yeah, yourself. Yeah, so my second encounter was kind of cool. Like, so after this first expedition, Jimmy and I, it really changed our lives a little bit. Like, and we made it our personal goal to try to figure out what threw those rocks at us, right?
Yeah.
So we started talking to all the researchers and the witnesses in Florida where we were living. We were living in Tampa, and trying to, looking at all the hot spots. And in about a 3-week time frame, we decided that we are now professionals. So we decided that we're gonna go solo out together to this place called Colt Creek State Park, which is in Central Florida, in the Green Swamp Hunting Preserve. It's a really cool place. And we were there for one night, right? And Jimmy's there, and we're on like this 1.5 mile long night hike. Jimmy's not scared at all because he's got his 6-foot tall machete, you know.
Oh, sure.
Wait,
He's got his 10 million lumen spotlight, you know, shining around so nobody.
Is he familiar with a machete? Like, has he used one before? Was this
Never prior to this? No.
Perfect.
No.
Yeah, this is a great idea.
Excellent.
I'm loving
No
this.
practice needed there.
We're brand new, right?
Mhm. Straight out of the package.
So yeah, exact Walmart, you know. So I'm doing we're on a night hike, and I'm doing what I see him do on TV, which is Bigfoot calls every 2 seconds.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so every 2 feet, I'm doing a big, any animal, anything with a brain would know that there's 2 idiots running through the woods, you know, and you know what I mean? And this is a comedy piece written all over it. So anyway, Jimmy, we're about 1.5 miles from camp, and Jimmy's got his spotlight shining around, and all of a sudden, his spotlight comes across 2 pairs of reflecting eyes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
One pair is like fire engine red, right? The other aqua blue.
Oh,
So that's weird, you know.
that's very weird.
To have 2 eye shines that are 2 different colors next to each other, that would signify that's 2 different species of animals.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy and I, in our infinite wisdom of everything in the woods, we thought it was people.
Sure.
How high up were they?
Well, we'll get back to that.
Oh, good.
So we didn't know because it was dark, right? We couldn't see
Mhm.
and that far. All we could see is the 2 eyes, 2 sets of eyes. So we start yelling. We yell, "Hey, we're just looking for Bigfoot," you know, because we and then, and just the eyes are staring back at us.
Was it
So
waving and like, yeah, right
no, yeah,
here?
so, but we thought they were poachers illegally
Oh,
poaching.
okay.
We thought so we're like, oh, this is not a good scenario to be in right now. We got to get out of here. So we just yell out, hey, we're just going back to camp, and then the red set of eyes turns, looks at the blue set, turns and looks back at us, and then blinks. And that was another nope moment. We were out of there very quick. But Jimmy was very smart, and he put a notch in the tree with his machete. So when we went back the next day, we could do a recreation, and we saw that the eyes were about 7.5 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That's incredible. I mean,
it was pretty cool. Yeah, we did the whole, went back and filmed and did the recreation with the eyes and everything. So it was
wild.
yeah, it was cool, and that was just enough to really get me super into it. That was kind of the icing on the cake that or the straw that broke the camel's back to make me really get into this and want to do this as much as I do it now.
So hold on. Shoot. I am a nature idiot. I don't know anything about nothing.
It's accurate. It's true.
Yeah, proudly. But listen, I've never heard of blue eye shine in anything before. Is that normal for any animal?
Some owls have blue eye shine.
Okay.
It's not very common in the animal community whatsoever.
Typically, it's red.
More
It's
common
red
is
or
red.
Yeah, I feel like it
red,
would
orange.
be like a reflection of like blood vessels or something usually. But question number 2. Yes. Question number 2. Are you saying Bigfoot has an owl pit?
Oh,
I think so.
I never thought of that.
I think
Owl
that's
on the
exactly
shoulder?
what he.
Yes.
Like a parrot
like-
kind of thing, like a pirate and a parrot. Oh man,
Yeah.
And the look over is like, can you believe these guys?
right, that's my new leading theory.
You're welcome.
One of my one of the best places that we visited, I feel like, Tressa and I, was the North American Bigfoot Center.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I love Cliff's website because he's got all these mini articles, right? He's got all these articles that explain kind of his theories on things. And one of them is about that red eye shine and how occasionally it's attributed to some sort of glow from within.
Yeah.
But more than likely it's just it's biological.
Yeah.
In nature, and just a workup of the eyes. Which theory do you subscribe to?
I like the whole I love the bioluminescence theory. I don't subscribe to it though. I think it would be absolutely spectacular if Bigfoot has glowing eyes. But I don't think it's no land-based mammal besides fireflies have this capability. So I don't think it would make sense for a large primate to be able to have this capability. However, that doesn't mean it's not possible, I suppose. I have yet to see it in my I've talked to very good friend researchers who swear they've seen these glowing eyes turn on and off and produce light. And I've never seen that. So like I said, I don't know. I'd love to someday though.
Can I say something that may make me look like an idiot? Hello. When you mentioned bioluminescence, I was like, oh, yeah, that could be a reason why an animal would have anything glowing. Whenever I hear glowing eyes, I'm like, oh, they're magic. So that...
But that's a nice theory though. Like it's nice, and bioluminescence is beautiful. I mean,
yes, look at the sea. It has that stuff.
It does. And I send you videos.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, you don't pay attention because it's nature, but anywho, I really love the fact that 2 dudes were out wandering, yelling at random points on repeat, wandering around with a large machete. Let's
And
just
then-
It wasn't our
Yeah.
best. It wasn't our brightest days. We've
But listen,
progressed.
without our brightest days, we don't learn to have our brightest days.
That's true.
Hello.
That's true.
If that, and I'll tell you, if that never happened, I wouldn't be sitting here speaking to you, lovely ladies, today. Right?
Exactly.
True.
It all comes to this point.
It all comes back to Tressa and I.
Yep.
All right. So what's the difference now for you in going on an investigation? How do you approach it now as opposed to the machete and the screaming for
Yeah.
Bigfoot?
Yeah. Like we said, I've progressed a little bit. I do. My main MO when I'm out in the woods on an investigation is to have the best time that I could possibly have. It's not about like there's a lot. I know a ton of researchers that are like, red lights only, no talking, run through the woods, let's sit in silence for 5 hours. And granted, yeah, sometimes that's the best way to find Bigfoot, but
Sure.
that's not fun for me.
No.
I just like to have a good time and film my show and investigate with people that have always wanted to go out, or other investigators that are always out that I look up to, and look at their styles and learn from them. I'm an open book, and I like to keep writing chapters. So as long as I can keep doing that, that's what I'm going to keep doing.
I like that so much. I have a question that's not actually, it's a little bit to do with Bigfoot, but not really. What's the coolest thing that you've seen on any of the investigations that is not actually Bigfoot?
Oh man, the coolest thing. I've seen a lot of cool things.
Then give me one. It doesn't have to be like
Sunrise Cadillac Mountain, Acadia National Park was probably the coolest thing that I've seen, and that's the first point that the light of sun hits the easternmost part of the United States. So
Wow.
it's the very first rays of sun hit the United States in the morning, which is pretty cool. That was spectacular.
Very cool.
That's
Yeah,
super
I've
rad.
also backpacked the Smoky Mountains, which was awesome.
Mhm.
Hiked the Adirondack Mountains. I mean, I've been to every state, Maine to Florida, and all the way out to, I'm gonna be to, out by you guys, Indiana and Michigan, Illinois this year. So can't wait.
Have you ever searched around in the Pacific Northwest at all?
No, I do libraries are my primary source of income, and I would need to do a few more of them to be able to get out that way. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, we got a couple of guys for you to talk to when you get out that way.
Right, that sounds like a good
Oh yeah. You gotta
Hit 'em up,
you
James.
gotta go up there. Yes.
Mhm.
James Shupsky. Oh, that guy. He'll show you all around. He's
Yeah.
fantastic. That area
think-
is so gorgeous and weird.
I think
Mhm.
next year I'm gonna bite the bullet and really start planning a trip to get up that way.
Nice.
Yes, you must.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Oh, the next thing I wanted to we were talking about this sort of investigation that you do and how your skills have developed. I think that's where we were talking about.
Yeah.
What sort of things do you bring with you? Like, how does it plan out? What does that look like for you?
I used to like have this really big checklist going into this expedition, or going into a expedition, trying to figure out what to bring, and all this stuff in the bins and where to put everything. But now I kind of get all that up in my head. I've been doing it for so long. What do I bring, like technology wise? We have our thermal imaging camera, which just broke on me. So if anybody is selling a thermal imager, let me know. We have our voice recorders, but our thing that we bring out all the time is our I don't have it with me, is our really big HD filming camera that we film the show with. And that's the best way to get I think audio and video of Bigfoot, is to just be, and we're filming all the time with that thing. There's a lot of editing for me to do, but
Yeah, I bet.
but it's okay. That's just my job, and there's a lot of lonely nights. I'm coming up on an expedition. I leave Thursday for a 27-night tent camping expedition.
Oh wow, where are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be. I start in Indiana, then I have library programs in Illinois and Michigan. Indiana, I'm going down to Kentucky for the Kentucky Bigfoot Festival, and then I end up in Marionville, Pennsylvania for the Forest County Bigfoot Festival, which I just happen to be emceeing. Not a big deal.
Well, la-di-da.
Oh, well then.
Can I ask you a question about editing? Because I do a little bit of audio editing and I don't enjoy it so much.
No.
Do you do you watch, like, pointedly watch every second of that video? And if so, are you finding things you didn't notice when you were actually taping it?
Yeah, I watch pretty much every second, and that's because chances are somebody said something funny that I forgot about, and we need to get that evidence of that. Yeah, no, and when I go back, if I don't, the best way, I mean, obviously you're going to hear something in the field before you hear it on the camera.
Yeah.
So you hear something in the field, there's ways to kind of catch that on the camera or the voice recorder. And that's like what I'll do is I'll tap the voice recorder. So that way, when I'm watching the audio on Audacity, which hopefully you're familiar with if you do video, you could watch that spectrograph and see when you tap the thing.
Oh, that's so smart.
Couple seconds before that, listen for something.
Oh, that is very, very smart.
Yeah, learn that. That took a long time to learn.
Was that for the editing? I'm just leaving room for another question about editing because I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just watching or listening. That's fine. Hey, I got a question about pareidolia and like all the evidence that's out there that to me looks like leaves.
Yeah.
How much do you attribute to pareidolia, and how much are you like, oh, actually, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I love the red circle.
Oh, God bless the
those are
red
great.
circle. Yes.
If you have to circle something for you to see it, it's probably not evidence to me.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays with AI and stuff, it's very difficult to be able to determine what is true evidence and what's not evidence. So I don't even, people send me things all the time. They'll send me, pictures of faces in the woods, or they'll come up to me at a festival and they'll be like, "Oh, look at what I found." And I love people that take a picture of the computer screen camera and
It's
zoom
so
in
clear and crisp, and yeah.
Oh man,
Looks so good.
I love that. So it warms my heart when I see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I to be honest with you, I don't really look at evidence anymore. It's not nothing becomes of it unless you have like a hair sample or a really good casting or something like that. Any physical sorts of evidence. When you have like video and picture evidence, it's very difficult to determine anything nowadays.
Yeah, and even with physical evidence, if you don't believe, I feel like it doesn't matter what evidence you have. They're gonna find a way to dismiss it any way they can.
Unless you get a good hair sample that gets some DNA.
Listen, I feel like every time someone brings a hair sample, they're like, oh yeah, but it's like they couldn't figure it out, so it's nothing. No, that means it is something, you idiot.
Exactly. That's if you have something that comes back like unknown, then that's good.
That's great. But then they're like, well, it didn't come back as Bigfoot, so I don't believe it.
Well, it can't come back as Bigfoot because
I know.
There's no Bigfoot.
That's the joke.
Crazy.
And more jokes right after
that,
this. Sorry, that was
Great
terrible.
segue.
A vampire in Rhode Island?
A UFO crash in Connecticut?
A flying moose in Maine?
A haunted bridge that calls your name?
New England is weird.
Really weird.
Wicked Strange by Jeff Belanger and Frank Grace is your ticket to the bizarre. Ghosts, monsters, urban legends, and roadside oddities you won't believe until you see them.
So pre-order now on Amazon. It drops September 2nd.
Assuming the Black Dog of West Peak doesn't get you first.
Let's get strange.
Wicked Strange. Pre-order your copy now on Amazon.
See, I'm great.
Hey, I
with
know him too.
segues.
I know, weird, right?
We're a weird family.
So weird, so strange.
Um,
Oh
go
no,
ahead.
please.
I just want to ask about the whole nests in the. Do you have any opinions? Do you have any experience with like the nests and big tree trunks? And do you know what I'm talking about? Obviously, you do, right?
Yeah, like the intricate kind of
Yeah.
tree nests that are, I think they're probably most likely human made.
Mhm.
It would be, I think so. I think it wouldn't make sense for me for a Bigfoot to make like an intricate nest. I
Sure.
think Bigfoot are more nomadic, which means they're on the move more so. They follow the food source.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't make sense for them to build like this intricate structure that
Right.
some people believe that. Now, tree breaks may be a different story.
Mhm.
I think that could be like some sort of very basic communication that says, "Hey, the berry patches are this way."
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
like
That could
trail
be a
markers.
thing. Yeah, little trail markers or something
Mhm.
like that. But yeah, those intricate the things, I think I know what you're talking about. They're like teepees almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Yeah,
sometimes it
I
just
think
looks
they're
like
like
giant nests.
I
I
think they're
feel like
like
it's a new thing that's been going around in the past 10 or 15 years, and I'm like, I don't know what to think of this. This isn't my thing, so I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
wanna
think
say they're like bad Boy Scouts that aren't destroying their their structures. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah, like the ones that look a little bit like you would stumble upon in like a Blair Witch sort of movie with like the little teepees and whatnot. But the actual like nests and things that are just kind of gathered up debris,
Yeah.
um, those seem reasonably legitimate to me.
Mhm. Yeah, kinda
Um,
quick kinda things. I could see that
mhm,
as maybe like a very basic hunting blind or something like that.
mhm,
Okay.
To kinda hide behind or lie behind, to try to, get deer or animals that are walking down the path or hide from humans even.
mhm.
Huh.
So a lot of times, like the physical description of various Sasquatch sort of changes, right, based on where they are, like the geography. Um, do you think that they're separate entities or just different species within a family?
Yeah, I think it's even the same species. Look at, like, we'll take bear, for example, black
Mhm.
bear.
Yeah.
You have northern black bear and you have southern black bear. They're the same species of black bear. They just look a little different, and that's because of it's called Bergman's rule, which is actually like an ecobiological principle that says that animals that live in warmer environments are larger than animals that live in southern environments because they don't need to eat all year long. So, look at like black bears in Florida are super scrawny, they're
Yeah.
smaller, they don't look they're kinda mangy almost-ish
Mhm.
looking, where you have a black bear in New Jersey up here, and it's 800 pounds is the record size, and it's big and bulky and large. So I think Bigfoot, just like, say, the skunk ape, looks a
Mhm.
little different, kinda acts a little different. It would make sense that they're the same species, they're just geographically different locations.
Now that kind of like that makes sense to me a lot for like, on a particular continent, but what if you get outside of like North
Yeah,
America?
That's true, because you have obviously sightings of Bigfoot type creatures on almost every continent. So
Yeah.
I could go by saying there's bear on different continents, but there are different species of bear. So you're right, there absolutely may be different species of Bigfoot living on different continents. Do I think there's different species of Bigfoot here in the United States or in North America? Probably not. It wouldn't make sense for me, because there would be two cryptids to live and probably competing with each other. Wouldn't make sense to me.
All right. I like that
When you
theory.
started that question, Jeni, I thought you were asking if there was one Bigfoot.
Just
This
one
one
guy.
guy.
One,
He's just really good at cross country travel.
hey,
Yeah.
he's quick. He's quick, and
He's got portals. Everyone
old,
knows that.
old,
Mhm.
old Bigfoot.
Mhm. I like to imagine, and this is all based in my own brain, and I like to make all sorts of various connections that may or may not make sense. I like to think that somehow there's a lot of cave system involved in why they're not as easily sighted as one might think a large primate to be. Do I have anything here, or
Sure. I mean,
up or down?
you have a theory which is more than a lot of people have. But do I agree with the cave theory? No, I think Bigfoot are terrestrial animals. I think they live on the top of the planet, kind of like we do. Um, wouldn't make sense for me. For they may use caves to travel through, but do they
That's
live
my
there?
theory.
Yeah,
Not that
traveling.
they're like all hanging out down there, descent style.
Yeah,
God.
there's caves are pretty popular, especially nowadays with people. So, like, I was down in the Mammoth Cave region, and
Oh,
I was
that's hugely overcrowded.
doing investigation work down there. There are no caves that are undiscovered down there at all. So it wouldn't make sense for Bigfoot to be in
How would
caves.
you
And
know that if they're undiscovered?
okay, fair enough.
She's got you there.
Mhm.
Touche. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they were undiscovered caves, they'd probably be kind of small and unpassable. I would think,
Well, it
but I
wasn't
don't.
too long ago that they linked up the caves that ran almost from like Mammoth Cave down through like the Hopkinsville
Yeah, okay, I
like
heard about that.
area. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it wasn't too super long ago that they discovered that those all connect.
yeah.
Listen, I have not spent as near as much time as you have out in the wilderness, but let me tell you, I'm right.
I'm like, where is she going with this? Oh, she's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So, do you have any good stories that you like to tell, that you love to tell, that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yeah. All right. We'll do this one. So I was investigating with a pair of twins one evening, which is always I was recommend it 100%. Ever had the opportunity?
Find twins. Hold on, let me write that.
Yeah, write that down.
Find.
Anyways, we were in Whitehall, New York, and we go up there for the Whitehall Bigfoot Festival every year, and we do research while we're up there. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to go on a night hike. We're all sitting around a campfire, and I said, we're going on a night hike. But when you hike with Mike, it's not like a normal hike type of thing. Okay, we do like off trail hiking.
Oh.
We get the idea we're going to go down this trail about 1.5 miles down this trail that is like the grass is like above our heads high. So we basically we're swimming through this stuff, right? So we get to the trailhead, and it is mosquito-y
Oh,
Bad, right? I mean, it's not great. So I'm putting on off, like I should be in an off commercial at this stage in my life. So anyways, I throw it to the twins and they say, no, we have our own stuff. And I say, wow, that's dramatic. But anyways, we start the hike and this quickly turns into a hike that I do not want to do anymore.
yeah.
Have you been, you guys had one of those hikes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
every hike.
Every
Yeah.
time I take
Every
Tressa
hike.
to place. Yeah.
And so anyways, we get about halfway done with the hike and the twins start applying their spray very thickly. Okay, I'm in the back, in the caboose, and they're in front of me, and it's wafting back into my face and into my mouth and my nose, right?
Mhm.
And it smells and tastes horrible.
I feel like
Really,
I just
really
smell it.
bad.
Okay.
Was it homemade?
So, well, and I keep in the name of Bigfoot research, I didn't say anything and I kept my composure until after the hike. And finally, after the hike, I'm wiping this stuff off my face. And finally, after the hike, I'm like, guys, what kind of bug spray was that? Was that some, like you said, like all natural? Like, is
Yeah.
that some like stuff? They say, what bug spray? We didn't spray any bug spray. And I said, well, what'd you spray then? They said, what? The deer urine?
Oh,
There it is.
Yep. That's
There it
the
is.
time.
There it
um,
is.
but why though?
Mm.
Yeah, hunters will use that on their clothes to detract detract the human scent. However, it's not
Mhm.
designed to be sprayed
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
all over your
And also, were you hunting for deer? Why?
Mask the human odor, so like if you're going on like a hike,
I
or
don't
like
care.
expedition,
Why?
like you can
I'm
attract-
asking why and don't want to hear the answer because no.
I know. Did you know that you can buy it at the Big Red, the Big R? It's true. It's accurate.
Good God.
Mm.
So
That is a
it's
fun
not all fun and
story.
games when it comes to bigfooting.
I don't know. That is pretty fun though.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. Although, yeah.
Want to hear about the time I got bear maced?
Yes,
Listen.
please.
Let's wrap up the hour with bear mace.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And also, by the way, I love that multiple Bigfoot investigators, searchers that we know have horrible stories about bear mice.
It's terrible, really. But yeah, so I was in my early days of Bigfoot field research, I was always petrified of getting attacked by a black bear, right?
Mhm.
So what I did was to alleviate this fear, was I went and I purchased, which would probably be the Guinness Book of World Records largest can of bear mace that I could I mean, this thing had to be, I mean, we're talking, and I had always carried it on my hip, you know? And years ago, I was in the back of a two-door Jeep, right? And I was there was a guy up front and a guy, driver and a passenger up front. I'm in the back, and we're going over this pothole-filled road, and all of a sudden, we hit a pothole, and boom, and the fire extinguisher in the Jeep started going off. So I leaned up to the front seat driver and I said, Mike, his name was Mike too. I said, Mike, why is your fire extinguisher going off? And by the time I had said that, I had realized that it was not the fire extinguisher, but the can of bear mace.
Mm-hmm.
This is like an open
That's
air
burning.
Jeep, right? Where there's
No,
it's all
we
open,
were.
so you're fine.
I
There's
wish.
no
I
problem.
wish
Yeah.
it was. So instantly, every orifice is leaking. Cannot see. I can't talk. I'm coughing. I probably can't hear at this point in my life. I don't really know. It wafts up to the front seats and it hits the driver and the passenger up front. the driver almost flips the Jeep trying to pull the thing over to the side of the road.
Yeah.
Right. So finally, he gets the thing pulled over. They are out of the Jeep, rolling around, coughing on the ground, throwing up, and they somehow both of them managed to shut the doors and lock me in the Jeep. So we're basically hot locked in the Jeep with this bear mace. And
You know what? You deserved it. I'm going to say it.
I don't know why you would say that, but I appreciate that. And so, anyways, we finally got out of the Jeep, and it took 3 days for me to be able to open both eyes.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah, it was. If you guys go onto my library my website at shadowofredeye.com, you could see my upcoming library appearances, where you may, if you're lucky enough, get to see a footage of when I got sprayed with bear mace.
Oh, we're going to be there.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Count on that.
Oh, this is going to be great. Mike, you got to come back on the show, man.
This is fun. I had a great time. I can't believe it's almost over.
I know. Please promote everything that you want to promote, and tell us and everybody else where to find all of the information.
Yeah, so shadowofredeye.com is the main hub for what we do. That's my where you can find all my upcoming appearances. Like I mentioned before, I do Bigfoot research full time. I speak at libraries during the day, and that funds my way to camp and film my YouTube show across the country at night. So if y'all want to check out one of my library presentations, they're all free, always open to everybody. You don't have to be a library member to come or have a library card. Everybody, would love that. You can hear some local stories. People always come and share their local Bigfoot encounters, so it's always a wonderful thing. And then, come and check out the YouTube show at Shadow of Red Eye. We have a rockin' Instagram account. We have some Etsy where we sell this really cool Bigfoot merch, which helps us buy firewood when we travel across the country. So
And bear mace.
go ahead and bear mace, which I don't carry. It's actually, I don't allow anybody to carry bear mace on my expeditions anymore.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea. But anyways, that's all I got. So if I appreciate you guys having me on. This was like a lot of fun. I had a great time.
We did too. I mean, I did. I assume Jeni did.
Stick around for a second after the show so we can say thank you again.
Of course.
And,
thank you for joining us. Everybody else.
So loud every time.
Whoa.
Shush.
So loud.
Hey, thanks for joining us, and check us out on our socials. You can email us or message us or whatever. We love hearing from people. Buy our merch or whatever. Okay, thanks for joining us and hanging out at the lounge or whatever. Bye.